always on time. I'm ahead of the game, I'm first place. I'm in my prime. Hard work that pays off. I pay dues, I'm paid off. Cross me, get crossed off. I'm so fresh, I'm so raw. Go hard like A-Day. It's game time like game day.
This season, watch the Hungry Jacks NBL take it to the next level.
We'll race anything around here. Even the odd penny farthing.
Season, the Perth Wildcats have had significant change to their roster, which is not normally something we say about the Red Army. Normally, it's quite the opposite. Changing coach, changing player personnel, and tonight we get our first look at the new look Perth Wildcats. They take on the Adelaide 36ers, who were successful in their first outing, and we get our first look at one of their star imports recruited over the off-season. Hello and welcome to Day 4 of the NBL Blitz at the sold-out MyState Bank Centre in Tasmania. First up, it's the Perth Wildcats and the Adelaide 36ers a little later on this afternoon, and into tonight it's the Cairns Taipans taking on the Tasmania Jack Jumpers. Jack Heverin joined in commentary by the marathon man Damon Lowry. Damon, good to see you, and there's a lot of fresh faces in that Perth team.
Yeah, thanks, Jack. Yeah, it's actually the half marathon, man, but that's okay. Next year I'll fix that. Yeah, it is some new faces over here in the WA. Looking forward to seeing some of these guys go. Mike Kelly, old mate, sliding over to the West, assistant coach. Looking forward to seeing how he performs this season. Going from head coach to assistant coach,
yeah,
but bringing lots of experience. So we'll see if Perth can be who they always have been.
Do you expect them to be that? To be who they always have been?
Well, it's hard. It's always hard, especially early in the season. But we all know over in Perth, you almost can't win. But with all the changes in the schedule and, you know, the WA government coming into play, you just quite never know how it's going to pan out, because they're going to have to go on the road for a big stretch.
So let's talk about who's out there tonight and who's not going to be out there. For Perth, no Mitch Norton. He's out with a knee injury. Todd Blanchfield is going to miss, unfortunately for Toddy, a substantial part of the season with a knee injury. Michael Frazier's building fitness after coming out of quarantine, and Corey Sherville not playing with a foot injury. For the 36ers, all resting tonight, Kai Soto, Daniel Johnson and Todd Withers. But I mentioned some players that we will see for the first time for Adelaide. 3 of them, in fact. 2 of them out there to start with. Big Isaac Humphries in the middle, and Mojave King, the next star, playing and starting tonight. Dusty Hannah's their import from Little Rock, Arkansas, we'll see tonight as well. So we're underway for the first game of our doubleheader. Matt Hodgson, the latest of late signings for Perth, starting in the middle. Purchase fires away from outside to start with. It'll be a Perth ball. Starting lineups for both teams: Matt Hodgson, Luke Travers, Jack Purchase, Vic Law crossing over from the Brisbane Bullets, and fantastic to see Bryce Cotton back out there after his season-ending quad injury. For the 36ers, Isaac Humphries, Sunday Deck, Mojave King, Cam Bairstow, who looked pretty impressive in his first game for Adelaide a couple of days ago, and Mitch McCarron, their captain, as well.
Be interesting to see how Bryce goes. Like you just said, coming off an injury, seeing if he still got his legs. Even though he's a little fella, he needs his explosiveness. So we'll see how he comes out of the gate.
That looked pretty good from the inbound. Jump shot a little short. Bryce gets another opportunity over the outstretched arm of Bairstow.
He's fine.
He's okay.
He's fine. Bryce will do what Bryce does.
And the Wildcats are on the board first. McCarron a little quiet in game 1 against Cairns. Only 4 points, 5 rebounds. Adelaide give the ball up. Law and Cotton combining, and Travers has travelled.
Traveling Trav, that was only but he's gonna have a good year, I reckon. Last year he finished strong. He's already getting some NBA looks, so be interesting to see how he meshes with the rest of the group, because you got Vic Law coming back that was injured. Obviously Bryce was injured, but now looks like this. Hey, that might not be the third fiddle.
Do you think this is the last year we see Luke Travers in the NBL?
I hope it is. The more guys that we can get in the NBA from the league is just win-win all around. But he's got that size that NBA teams like. You know, he can go inside. He can, you know, from the perimeter he's average. You know, I mean, he's respectable, I should say. So he can handle the ball. So I like him. I like his chances.
Here he is bringing the ball up the court. Jack Purchase, fantastic chance for him. He's been plying his trade. He was an injury replacement player last season for Adelaide. Now a fully fledged part of the Wildcats lineup.
Yeah, Jack's trying to find his groove. He's trying to find a home. Obviously had a good college career. Hawaii, comes here. Adelaide a little bit, didn't quite, maybe not have been the best fit for him. So he's looking to prove himself still.
36ers take the early lead. It's Cotton after the handoff from Hodgson. That's missing everything. Something tells me we won't see that often during the NBL season.
It's not going to discourage him at all. But I'll tell you what, if you're on defense and you're going to be trailing him like that, you might want to trail him with a little bit more assertiveness because he's letting it go.
Second game for Adelaide. They played on Sunday against Cairns here at MyState Bank Arena. Winners in overtime, 91-87. On the back of 33 points from Daniel Johnson. There's Bairstow, who kept fighting for it and eventually had it, although lost it. And his pocket picked by Cotton. Travers ahead. Was worried out of it by Isaac Humphries. Now Sunday Deck lifting the tempo.
He's going to have to know he can't put the ball on the floor like that. One dribble, maybe two, you know the little fellas is coming. That's a turnover that shouldn't have happened.
Especially when Bryce Cotton's around. Humphries.
Oh, give me the lefty hook.
Forced up something. Hodgson did well not to give away a foul. Shot clock at 9. And Hodgson winning that battle as well over Humphries. And Vic Law, only 16 games last year with Brisbane, but we like what we saw. Huge signing for Perth during the off-season. Cotton short again, but there's Hodgson on the offensive glass. Perth are making hard work of this.
Matt Hodgson, believe it or not, I saw him in a Big V tournament in Melbourne playing for the Waverley Falcons, and I walked in and I thought, who's that 8-foot guy? He had no business playing in the Big V.
Yeah.
Shout out Waverley Falcons. But he should be able to dominate on the boards at least in this game.
A lot of experience in this league. Was headed overseas, but some things fell through and an offer came through from the Wildcats. And I suppose, Damon, Perth are one of those teams that when they knock on the door, you open it, don't you?
It's hard to say no. Champions, you're playing in front of 25,000 knuckleheads. Now, a sellout crowd. They love their team over
The Red
there.
Army will get you.
I still got
Are you
stars.
Are you on Twitter? They will
will.
find you on Twitter, the Red Army.
My 4-year-old daughter, when she was 4, learned the word wanker from watching me play in Perth. So no love lost. But no, what a great place to play. You know you're going to get the full support, and there's championships. You know, it's in their DNA. So it'll be interesting to see if they can get back to that mountaintop.
Both teams rolling some substitutions. Sunday Deck gets into the paint. Couldn't finish off. And there's Majuk. Another fantastic to see him back playing. Didn't play at all last year due to an Achilles injury. He looks fit. From all reports, he's been training the house down.
One of those great effort guys, gives you just nonstop effort on both ends of the floor, crashes the boards. He knows who he is as a player. You don't have to run plays for him, but he can finish when you give it to him, and seems like a great teammate.
Re-signed on a 2-year deal. So I mentioned that faith that the Wildcats front office have had in him. It's Mojave King.
Nice.
Lays it up on Cotton.
That's what you got to do when you're playing against a scorer like Cotton. You got to make him honest and hold him accountable on the defensive end.
His first points as a 36er. Second year in the NBL Next Stars program. Cotton with 5 on the shot clock. Dumps it out for Kyle Zunic. His first attempt from outside looks good.
I'm going to say right now, and I don't know what the defensive rules are, but you help out of that corner and you give up a triple because you think you're stopping penetration. I think that's a problem. You got to be careful. Matter of fact, I don't think you should be doing it. So.
Humphreys off the back of the iron. Rebound by the veteran, Jesse Wagstaff. Kevin White. Down to Majuk. Size advantage and strength advantage over Manny Malou. And he made good use of it.
There you go. Just dump it into the post. 2 crab dribbles, jump hook. Easy money.
Wildcats lead it by 1. Deck gets all the way in and scores. It's been a fascinating off-season for the Wildcats, Damon. They've only face-to-face seen their coach Scott Morrison 2 days ago because of restrictions and whatnot. Mike Kelly's basically been coaching this team the whole off-season. So you'd expect they're just going to do the basics tonight.
Yeah, it's probably a tough dynamic. Some teams probably would like to not see their coach for face-to-face for quite a while. But considering Scott hasn't been here before, you know, you would like to hear his voice. So I'm sure Mike is in training saying things like, hey, this is what Scott said.
Yeah.
This is what Scott said.
Yep.
You know, so it's going to take a while for Mike and Scott to get on the same page.
Spoke in the lead up to tonight's game, the new Perth coach, and said they're just focusing on the fundamentals. And here's Dusty Hannah's his first minute straight into the action.
Don't hesitate.
He's a shooter, and I think we've just learnt that.
Come off that ball screen, and he's a scorer like that. You're gonna have to respect him early. He's letting you know he's not gonna hesitate.
4 games over a couple of seasons with the Memphis Grizzlies.
Crab, hook, tip in.
Does it again. This time Hannah's off the glass, showing his pace.
Proving he can also put the ball on the floor and get to the basket.
Zunic lost it. Nice hands from Deck, but Zunic got it back, only to have it stolen away by Mojave King. Wagstaff is going to send him to the free throw line.
Scott Morrison's looking at his group. He's going, can any of these guys make the Boston Celtics? And Luke Travis is probably thinking, hey, you know, I already got an in. Yeah. He'll see Scott over there on his phone. He'll go, hey, is that who you talking to? Wouldn't be Danny Ainge by any chance, would it? Put a word in for me. But it's good to get them kind of high caliber coaches that have been in the NBA. They can come here and they can instill some, some NBA philosophies, because this is where guys want to go.
Yep. We saw Chase Buford coaching Sydney last night for the first time. Another with great pedigree. It's a destination league. 36ers lead by 4. Zunic with his feet set. Misses everything.
Let it go from there. Go ahead. He thought about it.
He looked. Hannah's trying to shake Kevin White. Nice. Draws contact.
Kevin White's a hard-nosed defender, so that matchup with him and Sunday Deck, that's going to be interesting. You're going to earn it when Kevin's on you. As a defender, that's all you can really do, because guys that can score, they're going to find ways to score. What you want to do is just try to limit their efficiency, so it's not that easy.
And his floater off target. Malou with the rebound. Shot clock down to 7. It's Bairstow at the elbow. Travers did well. Forces it out of play. 3.5 seconds left on the clock. Scott Morrison wants to have a chat about things with 2 minutes 47 left in the opening quarter.
First thing I'm thinking is, Vic Law's on the team, fellas. Can we get Vic a shot? Am I missing something? It's been 6.5, nearly 7 minutes gone, and we got to get him involved.
Hasn't had a field goal attempt as yet. See Mike Kelly talking to the group.
You got to wonder too, how much with Trevor Gleason put in place, how much is still there? How much is, you don't want to throw everything out because you got a new guy coming in. What worked? So you got to kind of work out. I'm sure he'd have had plenty of conversation with Trevor just to kind of get the feel for the guys and what best suits the group.
Changes during the off-season, so departures. Jared Bairstow and Clint Steiner will see next, playing for the Jack Jumpers. Wani Swakala-Bullock is with the Sydney Kings. Will Magnay not playing tonight, but is also with the Jack Jumpers. John Mooney, who had such a fantastic season, has departed. But the replacements, you could argue, are just as good. In fact, they could be better. Vic Law, Jack Purchase, Matt Hodgson from Brisbane, Kyle Zunick out of college, and Michael Frazier, who's not playing tonight. So they certainly don't want for much, do they?
Plenty of talent there. Now it's just a matter of can we mesh? Can we all get on the same page?
Hannah's off the inbound, tried to bank it home. Bairstow had his arms clipped. Baseline ball, he thought it was free throws.
And he decided to waste 2 seconds of his life by speaking to the referee.
Here's Nick Marshall. It was impressive in his first game. That's a nice finish.
A running hook. Add that to your repertoire, youngins.
That's 7 points in the game against Cairns on Sunday. Opens his account now.
There you go.
Here's Vic Law out of the timeout. They run something for him. Not that time, though. Isaac Gatorna on the floor as well. Hannah's had it come off his foot.
Hannah's been lively in his few minutes he's been out here. Yeah, you wonder if they, are they imports? Are they on minutes restrictions? What are you doing? Is it too early for load management? You wonder how much Vic Law is going to play. He's playing his whole first quarter out. One shot. They ran that post little action for him that one time. But like we seen the other day, some guy imports didn't play the last quarter.
Yeah. Yeah, every team seems to have a different strategy for how they want to go about it. A lot of that would be pre-planned, you'd imagine. Some things will never change, and one of those is Jesse Wagstaff nailing one from the top of the key.
Oh, Jesse, he's a wily veteran now, isn't he?
Back to three again. Hannah's blocked by Travers. Got him over the back. Wildcats want to get moving. Wagstaff was fouled.
Perth methodical in the action. They're not going to do anything silly. I mean, outside of Bryce, who might come down and just let one fly, they're going to be pretty disciplined. They're going to get what they want most possessions. So on the defensive end, you got to be switched on.
See Scott Morrison there. Comes with a lot of international pedigree. As Damon mentioned, been an assistant under Brad Stevens at Boston for the last 4 years. It's a huge recruit for this league. Hannes takes contact from Vic Law. That'll send him to the free throw line.
First free throws of the game. Been pretty clean.
Where he's very comfortable as a free throw shooter. Dusty Hannes went to Texas Tech for a couple of years at college. Holds the all-time free throw record at that school.
Red Raiders.
Shot from the stripe at 92.9%.
Andy. It's one thing being a great free throw shooter. Then you got to be great at getting to the free throw line. He's got to work out the referees. What can he get away with? What can he suck him into calling?
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff will come with time.
Here he is in transition. Blows past Travers, but didn't get the shot away in time. After one, it's Adelaide who leads 17-12. They win the quarter and take a point in the Bruton Loggins Cup. What did you make of the opening stanza?
I like Adelaide's energy. I mean, obviously this is their second game, Perth's first game, so they got a chance to run a few of the cobwebs out a couple of days ago. Even though they got some new players in, you can just tell that they've already been there. Whereas Perth, who knows how they feel? First game in, they in Tassie, coach is new, just got in town, just got out of quarantine and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to take them a little while, but so far so good. I mean, they didn't do anything that you would think, ooh, that's ugly, but I just think Adelaide just might be a little bit far more advanced in the preseason so far.
And they've played one game already, whereas this is Perth's first game of the Blitz. Adelaide have got 3 more to come after this. So do you, as a coach, as we take a look at some of the shooting stats from the opening quarter, as a coach, Damien, do you want to start to build? So do you want more out of the second game of the first game and then more from the third game than what you saw in the second game?
Absolutely. Each game you got to show improvement. They had went back and looked at the tape. CJ would have had he might have got a couple hours sleep. He would have watched the tape and he would have saw we need to at least improve in these areas. Because everybody knows you're not going to be playing your best of basketball in November, nor do you even want to.
Yeah.
So they would have identified a couple key areas. And let's be better in these spots. Kind of judge it off of that.
The leading scorers, Dusty Hannah's in limited minutes. In fact, only 4 minutes, has 7 points. 4 points for Majuk in his return to the NBL competition after injury last year.
Every team, I think, should have a Majuk. A warrior inside that you can just throw the ball into, everything breaks down, and watch him crab hook.
He's just, in this lineup, he's exactly what they need, isn't he? Off the bench,
Yep.
Big presence.
Energy guy, defensive presence. Yep.
Interesting stat of the opening quarter, the standout. Adelaide just the 1 3-point attempt where they're 1 of 1. Perth 2 of 12. Stark contrast.
Yes. The next one's going in mentality.
It's Tad Dufelmeyer starting the second quarter. Thought he was fantastic on Sunday. 14 points. Hannah's misses with the floater. Clark, Hodgson, Purchase, Law, Zunic on the floor for the Wildcats. Hodgson, nice pass for Purchase, who takes care of the rest.
How many times do we see that happen? Ball goes inside, defense off the ball, stares at the man, and you get a cut. Guy gets an easy bucket. Good pass by Matt.
McCarron out for Dufelmeyer. He's off target. So Humphreys, Hannahs, McCarron, Dufelmeyer and Malou out there for Adelaide to start the second. They've got numbers ahead, although Clark saw the pass from Dufelmeyer coming. Now Purchase up the floor for Hodgson. Not that time.
That's when you want to finish. He knows that, but that's what happens sometimes. Your touch isn't quite there as the preseason, but the long arms, you back him most times to finish that.
Uncontested rebound for Matt Hodgson. There he is on the low block. Clark baseline running out of time. And one end to the other, McCarron sees only Purchase ahead. Takes it at him, no foul, tipped in by Dufelmeyer.
Mitch just plays a nice at his pace. You're not going to speed him up if he doesn't want to. He's just going to kind of control the tempo, kind of pick his spots. Like we thought he was quiet a couple of days ago, but that's his style. Nothing too breakneck speed, just totally composed.
So both teams have been happy to rotate the minutes and have gone to their benches. All 20 players who are suiting up tonight have played so far.
Yeah, coach has got to get everybody give them a little taste, because the benches get a whole lot shorter when the real season starts. You can just see the influence too, like of what Adelaide's running. Like as CJ played, you got Hannah's, you got running these turnouts, you're coming off, you're chasing this guy who, if you go under the screen, he'll stop and shoot the three. You trail, next thing you know, he's in the paint, he's shooting these floaters. So you wonder, like, how much does a coach's style of play, if he was a player, how much does he bring that to the team?
Yeah.
Do we know anything about Scott Morrison's playing career?
Not a lot
He's a little dude over there.
about his playing
Sure he
career.
had
I'm
one.
guessing he was a guard. I'll come back to you on that. Sunic throws it away. A little sloppy, both teams, to start this second quarter.
Scott's going with Vic Law again for the second quarter. He played the whole 10 in the first quarter, baby, just thinking, you know, we're just going to run you into it. No point in messing around, resting on the bench.
Captain for the NBL 22 season, Mitch McCarron. Duffelmeyer found Humphreys, left all alone. The big man does have a nice stroke.
I don't know if John Calipari would have had him doing that when he was at Kentucky, but he's developed that kind of shot, especially in today's, with all the pick and rolls and all the bigs popping out to space. Oh, I still like it. But Humphreys, if he can make that little 12, 15-foot shot, that just makes everything a lot easier.
That pass was telegraphed. Hannahs was awake to it and takes it to the other end and scores.
Yeah, sloppy pass on that one by Vic. He might be getting a little bit fatigued. We'll see if a sub is coming his way pretty soon.
And again, Perth turning the ball over, which is uncharacteristic for any Perth team. McCarron, nice pass for Malou.
Yes, that had timeout written all over it. Perth's fatigued. First game again, but not that there's any excuse, but yeah, you got to stop the run. Adelaide's feeling real good about themselves right now.
25-14. The Wildcats have only scored 2 points since quarter time. And for a team, again, without going back over history, but last season they had the lowest amount of turnovers per game at 10 a game. They've had 4, I guess you could call it 5 to start this second quarter. Yeah,
Definitely not what they want to be doing this early, but like we said the other day, the coach has to know it's just going to be sloppy early. You're never going to feel comfortable looking at it, but you just got to accept that it's going to be sloppy early and just hope that the guys can tighten that focus up as the season goes on.
So for Wildcats fans, after tonight, next time you'll see your team is on Friday against the Brisbane Bullets, playing in Ulverston. And then on Sunday against the Cairns Taipans. Wednesday against the Jack Jumpers at Ulverston, and they finish off on Friday, November 26, once again, up against the Adelaide 36ers. So a bunch of games in a short space of time.
And guys would rather play than practice, I'll tell you that. That's not going to change.
They've surely had enough of practice by now. You can see Kai Soto, all 7'2" of him at the end of the Adelaide bench, not playing tonight. Daniel Johnson not out there too. We're still yet to see Todd Withers take his place for the 36ers.
Daniel Johnson's probably iced his elbow most of the night. I'm sure he's itching to get into the next game so he can pick up where he left off.
20-plus field goal attempts, wasn't it, the first game?
Not bad.
King pulls up for 3. That's short. Now Cotton surveying the floor.
Purchase travels, in fact, put his foot on the line. That's a when people turn down shots, you make him pass, a guy penetrates, kicks it out. If you don't shoot it, you know, the defense, you re-penetrate. Sometimes it comes off, but when the shot clock's running down, somebody's got to take that shot, or you end up something like that happening.
.36 by 9. Bairstow spins on Majuk. That's a lovely finish.
Nice game. Nice hard jab. Went hard middle. A half of a Hakeem shake in the hook.
11 points and 8 rebounds in his debut for the 36ers, Cam Bairstow. Very late signing for them, but his pedigree is as good as just about any.
I think anytime you can pick up a Bairstow, you're doing all right.
It's Cotton. Lays it up under pressure. Nice finish. From the 3-time MVP. Much needed bucket for Perth. See the shooting stats in the bottom of your screen there.
Even when the coach says, yeah, you know, don't worry about the score, you always worry about the score. Even though you're playing by the quarters, you're still looking up the score thinking, we're down 11.
Travers comes back in.
I like to see Travers isolated more with the ball. I mean, when Perth had the injuries last year and he could be a real focal point, had the ball in his hands a fair bit. Now, to play him off the ball, he's got to figure it out. But I would like to see him in times in the game just be able to, you know, you bring the ball, you be the big point guard. Let Bryce run the floor. So that's something them two going to have to work out together as well.
Plus, Perth, at some point they'll have Mitch Norton to come back into this team, and sooner rather than later, potentially at some point during the Blitz, we'll see Michael Fraser, who is a scorer. They'll have weapons everywhere.
That's the thing. When you got, can you have too many weapons? I don't know. I mean, as long as it's not like it's a my turn, your turn kind of thing. But you got to let each other play to their strengths. So, again, it's just going to take time to see how it all gels.
White goes 1 of 2. Inside 5 minutes before halftime. Tasmania up next against Cairns. Sellout crowd really building at My State Bank Arena. It's Cam Bairstow getting to work.
Put him in the spin cycle. Big fella likes spinning to his right. And that's most of the action these days. You don't have a traditional post play. You just dump the ball into the post most of the times. Most of your bigs are going to be dribble handoff guys and guys that just set random picks. But if you can put the ball on the floor as a big these days, just like Bairstow just did, you become that extra threat.
Majuk takes his position down low. Foul on Sunday deck. Kevin White was almost the hero of the semi-final series and the final series that they didn't know they were going to get. Across the season, only averaged 3 points a game. In the playoffs, doubled that. And during the playoffs, went 12 of 28 from outside.
Played his heart out. Gave all he had. Mitch was banged up. I mean, he was running on fumes, but it was an awesome effort. So if they can all stay healthy at the right time, that's another thing. You need some luck. You can have a great regular season. You get the wrong injuries to the wrong guys at the wrong time. It can derail your season.
His Purchase, feet set. That's what he's out there to do.
6'8" shooting guard, shooting small forward, whatever he calls himself. He's definitely a three-point threat.
Marshall couldn't tip it in and was out of play. Perth ball.
CJ's upping the tempo on defense, realizing that Perth's legs might be a little bit wobbly.
Double comes for Wagstaff. There's Travis. Flashing to the basket and flying high.
There's our first dunk of the game. Mojave King got caught ball watching. Man cuts right down the middle, two-hander.
And then Wagstaff picks off the pass. Officials might take a look at this and have a chat about it. Here's that last action from Luke Travers.
And you got to think, too, when the ball goes into the post, I mean, how many post buckets has been scored? So if you're on the perimeter, you're playing defense. I'm thinking, I don't think he's going to score that.
Yeah.
I'm going to make you have to make that shot. I'm not going to lose sight of my man, especially an athlete like Travis. How tall you reckon Bryce Cotton's going?
How tall?
Yeah. What lie did he tell in the program?
I've got him listed as he bombs away. I've got him listed as 6 foot.
Yeah, I was 6 foot when I played.
I was going to say though, this is the first time I've seen Bryce with hair for a while. Maybe he's 6 foot with the hair.
That helps, but he jumps like he's 6'5", so
Sure
I guess it don't matter.
Marshall, nice pass underneath for Isaac Humphries.
Good extra pass, ball movement, attack the closeout, give up penetration. And like you're running guys off the three-point line like they're Steph Curry. Sometimes you can just see if a guy can make a shot instead of giving up penetration, which leads to a dunk.
Big block there from Humphries, and now Mojave King can't make it count, but there's Humphries and the tip in for Dufelmeyer. So the big fella running the floor and getting it done at both ends. Isaac Humphries, although the points weren't his, he blocks another shot, but picks up the foul on the way through.
Adelaide shooting 16% from three. 16.
Dear.
So, fellas, calm down. Let's just not overreact just because the guy's on the three-point line, he might shoot it. Because there's a good chance, there's an 84% chance he's going to miss it.
Last season, they had their struggles at times, the 36ers. That was one thing they could do last year, was shoot the three ball. They were third in the competition in that stat.
I actually played a good mate of mine, Jamie Madigan. Shout out to Mildura Mavericks. He had a saying, everybody gets one. You take the first three. If you miss it, the average guy, he don't want to miss two in a row. So he's going to probably try to put the ball on the floor. But if he makes that first one, then you obviously respect it.
Humphries rolling to the basket. Nice hands from Law. Saw it coming. And Wagstaff in good position down low. Has the height advantage over Hanna's. Hanna's hands were too fast. Nice pass from Marshall for Dufelmeyer, who's having an impact again.
Nice. This is what happens. Jesse's got the ball down on the block. He thinks he's got the mismatch, but as soon as you dribble it more than one time, the piranha are coming. End up forcing him into a turnover. Got to make a quick decision out of the post.
As Travis finishes off with the left. He looks like he's a little sore. Foul on the floor from Kevin White.
That was the foul. That was the purpose foul to come out of the game. They're trying to make a sub. Took a hit for the team. Something I couldn't see myself ever doing. Why would I want to come out of the game?
I'm not sure there's too many that would do that. Probably says enough about Kevin White, doesn't it?
Guys tugging on their shirts, asking for a sub. Like, nah, I can't do that.
Wagstaff. Humphrey sat off. Wagstaff made him pay.
Yeah, Isaac either disrespected him or he's just tired, too tired to make a call. But he got caught in no man's land there, and Jesse made him pay.
7 points. 2 of 2 from the field for the Wildcats captain. Humphreys threw a hot one for Dufelmeyer with the shot clock ticking down. And half-time. It's the 36ers who retain their lead, 36-28, in a pretty low-scoring second quarter.
Yeah, we're not going to see the offensive brilliance this early in the season, but you're still just looking for signs, looking for where's our best strengths. Are we a transition team? I mean, at this stage, we're not a three-point shooting team, but nobody's trying to miss. So that I'm sure that percentage will lift. But you're just trying to find what you do well as a group early.
So the 36ers win the second quarter as well, 19-16. Some of our first half highlights from an Adelaide point of view. They've been able to share the load. Dusty Hannahs looks to be a real offensive threat. Only from a couple of possessions that we've seen, but he attacks with purpose.
Yeah, and he's got the floater game. He likes to get into the key, and CJ is obviously running sets that really suits his strengths, which is I'm sure he appreciates.
There's Hannahs again. He goes into halftime with 9 points to his name, leading scorer in the game. So he'd be pleased with the way that he started. Tad Dufelmeyer has had an impact, as has Isaac Humphreys, defensively as well as offensively. But the Wildcats in their first hit out of this NBL Blitz, some of the signs were there, and it really started for them at the defensive end, which it so often does.
Yeah, and this is when Scott's, he's in there right now going, hey fellas, I know we spoke about this, and I know it's probably going to take a while, but can I see a little bit more, urgency? Because that line gets old after a while. Yeah, it's our first game. Well, you know what? This is the only game we got right now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to need you to step it up a little bit. And I'm looking at you, Big Law. I mean, I know you haven't played in a while, so you got to get yourself into the game. How do you do that? You play tough D, get into the lanes. You already got a couple steals. I see a deflection here or there. Maybe get on the offensive glass, get some cheapies, try to get yourself to the foul line. I mean, you're Vic Law. So, it's time to step it up.
At the main break, it's the 36ers who lead by 8, 36-28 at My State Bank Arena. Still to come tonight, the Tasmania Jack Jumpers in front of another sold-out crowd will take on the Cairns Taipans. We'll be back shortly with the second half here on KO Freebies.
Also, get your Jack Jumpers and all season jersey today by visiting the Jack Jumpers merchandise outlet located in the foyer here at My State Bank Arena, or purchase online at shop.jackjumpers.com.au to make sure you don't miss out. The start of the 21-22 NBL season is not far away. The Jack Jumpers scheduled to kick off the season right here at My State Bank Arena on Friday the 3rd of December. Scan the QR code on the big screen now to sign up to the Tasmania Jack Jumpers newsletter. That way you won't miss any of the action. It's now time to welcome back our resident DJs, the Coffee Crew.
We'll race anything around here. Even the odd penny farthing.
Tansy, let's see what you've got with Flex Cam. If you see yourself on the big screen, it's time to channel your inner Arnie and give us a nice big flex. Just like Jack the Jumper, that's awesome. That's what we want to see. Show us your gun. Show us what you've got. The camera comes to you. We want to see the big pipes. Show us your gun. That's it, man. Well done. Huge. Oh, yes. Very nice, boys. Very nice. There. Look at those guns. Get those guns out. Yes, mate. What do you got for us, Adelaide? Yeah, beautiful. Get your guns out and show us some flex cans. Huge. Well done, everyone.
Welcome back to My State Bank Arena as we're just about set to get underway for the third quarter in the first of our doubleheader. It's the Adelaide 36ers who lead 36-28. Jack Heverin and Damon Lowry in commentary for both games this evening. Damon, what would you be seeing? Maybe we start with the Wildcats, given it's their first game. What would they be looking to adjust in this second half?
I know you don't want, nobody tries to miss shots. So, yes, you like to see him make more shots. So as a coach, you're saying, as long as we're taking the right shots, trust it. You know, it's just one of those halves that, you know, we just couldn't get a shot to drop. But I'm looking at ball movement. I'm looking at our structure. Defensively, they can say, look, we held Adelaide under 40 points, which again, 20 point a quarter, that looks good. So it's just combinations and trying to get guys to have a little bit of belief in themselves early. Trust the offense. As long as we shoot the ball well, take the right shots, they'll drop. If you CJ Bruton in Adelaide, you're going, we held them under 30 points. This is great. Let's see if we can do it again for a second half.
Both teams from the three-point line didn't exactly shoot the lights out. Perth at 25%, 4 of 16. Adelaide 1 of 8, just 12%. So both teams will be looking to improve that number going into the second half. Vic Law, mid-range 2, rattles out.
Vic, yep. At least he got him an early touch early. 0 for Tuesday, but that's okay. As long as it's a focal point to get him involved.
As Cotton, in his return from injury, got to the top of the key. Not that time though for Bryce.
We saw a lot of that with Bryce coming down, transition, getting that early on-ball screen. He comes off and let a triple fly.
Those hands from Bairstow. Took it away from Travers and McCarron. No look outlet pass for Mojave King.
Mitch in total control. Saw that no look coming. Mojave running the floor, gets rewarded.
A turnover for Perth. 36 is playing tonight without Daniel Johnson, who's being rested after playing massive minutes in game 1. Todd Withers, their import from North Carolina, is yet to suit up. And Kai Soto being rested this evening. Nice move by Bairstow. Big news for the NBL announced this morning, and for fans of Kai Soto, a multi-year deal being done to broadcast the NBL into the Philippines.
Hello.
Enormous basketball fans.
Nice. Have you ever been to the Philippines?
I haven't, no.
Me neither. If we get tight with Kai, maybe he can hook us up.
We could carry his bags around. He's a celebrity in the Philippines. Besto makes the second. How do you look to manage a guy like Cam Besto, Damon, who really in the last 3 years has played a small amount of basketball because of injury? This is 2 games in a row he's playing. Would you expect to maybe see him rested in one of the next 2 games, or is he better off just continuing to play?
I'm of the mindset that you got to play yourself into it. I mean, he's really been resting. Okay, I know he's been recovering and recuperating, but that's rest as far as I'm concerned. And as a player, you don't want to sit there and think about it and talk about it and conceptualize it. Then put me in. Let me just take my knocks and lumps and see how I'll pull up. And I'm sure he's having conversations with the team doctor and with CJ to let him know, how you feeling? You pull up okay? Yep, I'm fine. So let's keep it going.
That's 7 points tonight on the back of a really good first performance. 11 rebounds to go with 8 points on Sunday against the Taipans, former Chicago Bull. Here he is off the McCarron pass, off the back of the iron. It's knocked out a play by Humphreys.
There's a few different lineups. Like CJ, you're sitting over there. Well, both coaches, you're trying to work out your best 5. Who's my closing 5? And we're not going to see everybody's best 5 early because you got to get legs. You got to get minutes in everybody. But they're thinking, don't worry, like come game 1, when that bench gets cut to 7, 8 players, you'll see who the closing groups are.
Lawrence fell into his hands.
There you go.
He's on the board. His first points of the game.
Sometimes all it takes is one, just to see one go in.
Humphreys may have traveled, definitely traveled the second time.
Yeah. Like to see Isaac get into more scores mode when you get down there in the block like that, because you're not going to have a lot of time. Just a side note, Isaac Humphreys looks just like my youngest daughter's boyfriend, Joe. Except he's 10 inches shorter.
I was going to say, how would you go, your daughter's boyfriend, if he's 6'11" like Isaac Humphreys? Does he sing like Isaac Humphreys, though?
Nah, he's probably about 4'11", but he's a boxing champ.
Okay.
Not going to help him, though, if things go sideways. But anyway, back to the basketball.
Foul called on the Wildcats. Sunday Deck. Free throws to come.
No, you're a good dude, Joe. He's a good dude.
Shout out to Joe.
Yeah, shout out to Joe Taylor, boxing champ Victoria.
Is he really? Boxing champ Victoria.
Yeah, he's got hands. I'll tell you, Sunday Deck. Let's talk about Sunday. He plays defense like it's already halfway through the season. Like there's no preseason, take it easy, I'm just going to ease my. He's just an intense defensive player. You see it early. He sets a tone.
Started his career as a Wildcat, won 2 titles with Perth. A 10-point lead for Adelaide. Nicely done from Gatorna to win it back for the 36ers. And the offensive foul came from the official on the other side of the court.
See, when the 6-foot guy knocks over the 7-foot guy and the 7-foot guy falls, I'm not going to be quick to give him that charge, even though it probably was right. But I just looked at that last set that they ran, Perth, and like you got Bryce in the corner coming off a double, which he's got to know they're going to switch that every time. You got Vic Law with the ball. So all the actions, everybody's worried about Bryce. This is when Vic's got to be aggressive, and he's not in an aggressive mindset right now. So I guess he's just going to take some time to ease into it. But I like to see him be more aggressive.
It's Purchase. Catch and shoot 3, no good. Ball falls to the advantage of Sunday Deck. Shot clock winds down. Humphreys spinning on Hodgson, but spun out of control. It's just not happening for Isaac.
Yeah, and you can tell he's frustrated because he did it's my turnover, but you should have been in the corner. Like, nah, man, you had a shot, you didn't take it, and got yourself in a little bit of trouble. At least he was more aggressive with that move. It just, it didn't quite come off for him. 10 push-ups for the turnover. And he's sagging off on the ball screen when Bryce comes off, so he's kind of compounding it. So you don't want to let the frustration of one play affect what you do on the defensive end, which looks like it just happened.
Plays with a lot of passion, Isaac Humphries. He's always got something interesting to say. We learnt that last season, some of his halftime and pre-game interviews. You never really knew what was coming next.
There's his hook. There's his hook. See, you can just see it coming. There's plenty of game left, so you don't want to overreact. But players are competitive. Nobody wants to make any mistakes, and he's not, But if you compound a couple, you got to come get a seat. That's just the way it goes. I've learned this too when you're a bench player, and the guy comes off the court and he's frustrated. Don't be the first guy to give him a towel, because he's going to throw it at you, Melvin Thomas. Shout out to Mel Thomas.
Nice pass, McCarron for Gatorna. Nice transition offense from the 36ers. Kevin White tees one up. Wagstaff with the rebound. Out for Cotton. He knocks it down.
It's only a matter of time.
7 points now for Bryce. He's starting to build into this game. Perth get it back. Kyle Zunic happy this time to put the ball on the floor. Points are waved away. There could be a case to say that they could have counted, but
yeah, no continuation happening in Tassie at the moment. Jack Jumper might get that call.
they'll be jumping out of their seats by the time Tassie get up and running. Shortly after the completion of this game, it'll be the Jack Jumpers up against the Cairns Taipans. Sold out crowd at MyState Bank Arena. Stuffelmeyer back into the game. Ooh. It's a block on Kevin White.
Kevin thought he picked it perfect, but unlucky. You're gonna get, I got a theory on these fouls with these referees. Hear me out. You only get 5. You are guaranteed to get 2 bad calls. Guaranteed. You only really got 3 fouls to play with. That was one of Kevin's bad calls, and he's already got a reputation as a hard-nosed defender. He got to kind of protect himself. You got to be real, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. You got to be careful with your fouls.
So how do you use the other 3?
I wait till late in the game, a little bit later,
yeah,
so I can get a little bit more feisty going for steals.
Zunic up top. He's got a nice left-handed stroke. That one jumped out.
I've still yet to see a lefty with a bad-looking stroke.
We were talking about it on Sunday, weren't we?
It's like God made up for them being left-handed by giving them a nice jump shot.
Favorite left-handed shooter?
Favorite lefty. Straight away.
International or here, whoever suits.
Hard to go past Chris Mullin.
That was what I was going to say.
Hard to go. I mean, I'm showing my age, but Chris Mullin's lefty is beautiful to watch. In saying that, one lefty shot that wasn't that great to watch. Tayshaun Prince, remember him?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what he was doing with his, but
sort of came from, yeah. There's always an exception to the rule, though.
At least one.
Shooting stats improving slightly for both teams in this third quarter. Still a fair way off where they'd like them to be, though. Wagstaff, veteran move, draws the contact.
Yeah, he better drew the contact because he had Majuk posted. Majuk had his man the leaf right underneath the net, and he was on that ball. So if you're going to look him off, you at least better get to the stripe.
As Cam Bester comes out. Nick Marshall back in. These two teams will play each other to open their NBL 22 season. Friday, December the 3rd. In the jungle.
In the jungle. You don't want to give each other too much ammo. You don't want to say anything ridiculous. If you win this if you win this game, you don't want any bulletin board material. But you still want to have a little bit of confidence going in if you can at least beat them, get a win.
It'll be the Jack Jumpers to open the season against Brisbane on Friday, December the 3rd, and then straight after that, we'll head to the west and a double header on the opening night.
Crab, hook.
Not that time for Majuk, but he doesn't give up on it. Zunic knocks down the three, his second.
Good inside out. He was unselfish. Majuk could have put that right back up, but he saw a shooter out there on the perimeter, and what often happens after an offensive rebound, you end up with a three.
It's Dusty Hanna's little floater.
You know he's not the first Dusty to play in the NBL.
Dusty Riker.
Ah, nice.
He was a good player.
Yeah, he was. Crab, hook, done.
Too big.
You don't have to complicate things. Getting the big guy to just run to the paint and seal. He's not trying to shoot threes. He knows his strengths.
Mojave King, catch and shoot. He's got 9 points now.
Kevin got caught helping out of that corner. That's why he clapped his hands in disgust.
As Cotton uses Majuk. Rolled nicely to the basket, but was a little out of control by the end of it. And Hanna's got all the offensive tricks. That's a tough move. And he can't finish off, but kicks it back out to Dufelmeyer.
You wouldn't say Hannon has breakneck speed, but he just seems to get to where he needs to go.
Yep.
Shifty.
He seems really balanced. Timeout. 2.5 minutes to play. What would you, again, we've only seen Dusty Hanna's for 13.5 minutes, Damon, but how would you start to draw up a bit of a scouting report on what you've seen so far?
He's a scorer, and he can score from a variety of ways. So you want to try to make it as hard as possible for him to catch the ball. But off the ball, you got to be careful because, I know we want to play some help defense, but guys got to be trusted to play their man one-on-one. I can't be helping off this guy in the corner because he's not going to turn down the shot. You can already tell. And he will also shoot difficult shots. So even if you play good defense, he still might, he's shooting runners. He's shooting a, nice little pull-up games. He's got a lot of weapons. So with a guy like that, you just got to make him work. And he seems to play at his own pace, a bit like McCarron. Like, They don't seem too rushed. So what I want to do is try to make him as uncomfortable as possible. Get right up and into him, try to speed him up, and see how that goes.
11 points, 4 of 11 from the field for Dusty Hanna's. 4 steals as well, importantly for him.
Sneaky little thief.
It's a big signing for the Wildcats in the off-season, for the 36ers, I should say. It's Dufelmeyer.
Jamie Perlman giving him some shooting advice. Don't shoot like me. Don't shoot like I used to. Just kidding, Jamie. He's another hard-nosed defender.
That'll get back to him.
I can talk 31% career from 3. Don't worry about it.
31's better than 21. It's White. Did Kevin White things. And gives Perth a chance to score out of the timeout. They trail by double figures. It's the biggest lead of the game for the 36ers right now. Law posting up.
Okay, good mismatch. It was good patience. Vic could have took the first shot, but he gave it up and went posted up and got himself a nice little one-dribble turnaround jumper.
Isaac Gatorna tried to bank it home. Travis cross court for a wide open Jesse Wagstaff.
Wow, that's good ball movement. I don't know if the game plan is to double Vic Law off the ball screen, but they did it, and everybody made the right pass and got a wide open triple.
So since the timeout, whatever Scott Morrison had to say for the Wildcats has worked. Duffelmeyer late in the clock. Jacks one up. Wagstaff and Travis try to combine, but Duffelmeyer was there. The 36ers run the floor.
Hey.
Marshall out of control.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw it. I don't know if we're going to get the replay. Tad Duffelmeyer did a sneaky little pushing that you can get away with. A guy gives it up and cuts. You're both running to the basket. A little sneaky forearm to help him along. Because you can see Luke look around like, didn't you see that? That's an old vet move.
So the Perth Wildcats, were talking before about their opening game of the season, Damon. It's got the potential for Perth to be 5-0 to start with. Not that we're disrespecting their opposition, but they've got their first 5 games at RAC Arena. They don't travel until Tuesday, December the 28th. Then they'll be on the road for an extended period of time. But home games against Adelaide, Cairns, 2 against Brisbane and Tasmania. It's got the potential to start really well for them.
And that could be like a double-edged sword. Yep, you're at home and you're comfortable, but based on just this, which you can't read too much into it, but you can also be under a lot of pressure. If you got your first 5 at home and you come out of that stint 2-3, and now you're on the road. So Perth, who I think are a little bit underdone with the travel and everything that's been happening with them, they want to hurry up and get to a fitness level. Back in the glory day, when you got like Damian Martin and Sean Redditch and all those guys, Brad Robbins, that was a hard defensive fit team that could just wear you down over 4 quarters. This team right now isn't showing me that. Not to say they can't get there, but I think they're going to need to be able to be that kind of defensive team, especially when you're starting off 5 in a row at home. Because like I said, you don't want to finish that 2-3 or something like that.
A lot of uncertainty about what's coming up next with borders and all of that sort of stuff, obviously. But you'd expect that Perth, for a period of time, are going to be away from home. There's Jack Purchase. 5 points on 2 of 5 shooting for him.
Jack Purchase looks like Montgomery Burns told him to trim his sideburns. See that old Simpsons episode?
Apparently that's in now. That sort of hairstyle's in. Not that we can really talk too much about that, but nice finish, Vic Law. Points will count.
Easy ones. That's what you do to get your confidence up. When things not going your way, you got to get those easy ones. Offensive rebound. He's still an athlete. 2 feet away from the basket. He's going to finish most times.
Former Brisbane Bullet. Averaged 18 and 8 before his injury. There was a lot of discussion at that stage of, in the first third of the season, whether he'd be a potential All-NBL first team the way he was playing.
And 18 and 8 doesn't go away. You don't just forget how to be that guy. So, he stepped out. Just got to be patient.
Points. Well, Perth is saying that they're not going to count.
I'm saying he stepped on the sideline.
I'm thinking he didn't get it away in time. Yeah. So points won't count. 54-38 with 1 quarter remaining. In fact, May in fact be 51 because that bucket doesn't count.
Perth's first 20-point quarter. If you're Adelaide, you're still thinking, hey, they didn't go over 20. Perth, you looked a little bit more lively that quarter. So overall, it's an improvement. See if you can just bag it up for one more quarter.
Seeing some of the highlights from the third quarter. That man there is a big positive for Perth. Majuk to have him back, and he's looked really comfortable tonight.
Yep, meat and potatoes with no disrespect, but he's efficient down there. He's gonna, if you don't send a double, he's getting that shot off every single time. Too strong, plays, but uses his body well. Great positioning.
For the Wildcats, Jesse Wagstaff has 11 points. It's their leading scorer. Some of the leading rebounders on the court. Matt Hodgson, 7 in his first game as a Wildcat. Vic Law, 5. For the 36ers, Dusty Hannah's their leading scorer with 11. Mojave King has 9. Cam Bairstow has 8, as does Tad Dufelmeyer.
Interesting to see how Scott's playing Vic Law. Because in the NBA, some guys, they play a whole quarter, sit half the second, finish the quarter. Vic came in halfway through that third. Now he's starting the fourth. So you wonder if Scott bringing some of the NBA style rotations.
Yeah. He's played 18 minutes, Vic Law. Bryce Cotton's played a little under 20. All players who have suited up tonight, though, all 20 of them, have played at some point during this game. Hannah's trying to get busy on Kyle Zunic. Blocked by Hodgson with the help D.
Yeah, the 8-footer sitting in the key, just waiting for penetration. There's no defense at 3 seconds, so a guy like that's going to be camping out. It's going to be trouble. It's going to be hard to get that shot off.
Wildcats can tie it up on this possession. Now Law extends over the top of Hannah's, makes it a 1-point game.
That's clearly the mismatch. That is, he can get that shot off whenever he wants. So now Adelaide got a decision to make. Do we send a double, or do we trust Hannah one-on-one?
Sunday Deck has a fumble.
Substitution for the Wildcats. Jack Purchase checks back in for Jesse Wagstaff.
Opening minute of this last quarter. A Law for 3.
Shot it with confidence, and that's what a couple of easy buckets would give you. That would have went down for him.
He's not shy, Dusty Hannah's.
You better find him in transition.
Foul on Dufelmeyer.
Perth has clawed their way back into this game just quietly, only down by 1. The momentum somehow shifted when just all of a sudden they started going to mismatches, trying to find Vic on the block. I'll go right back to him down there.
Zunic tried to throw the lob for Hodgson, but Sunday Deck was awake to it. Now he spots up. He's deep as well.
There you go. Clear out. Crab. Send the double. Extra pass. Triple.
Clark couldn't make it count. Offensive rebound, Hodgson. Again, they play through Vic Law. With Cotton off the court, this might be a sign of things to come.
I'm not saying that Vic can't make that 3. But you want to take the shot that you know is going to create havoc. And him down on the block like he did before when they had to come sit in the double, and they end up getting a wide open 3 as opposed to that one. You know, sometimes you got to just pick your spots.
Let's pass cross court. Hodgson for Kyle Zunic. Not that time.
Dufemeyer dodged a bullet, sitting on the split line for some reason. That's great in under 16s. But in NBL, giving up corner 3s.
You can see the frustration on the face of Isaac Humphries. He's 2 of 7. And they've all been pretty good looks as well.
Yep, he's frustrated, and Bairstow's over there stretching.
Isaac would have seen that.
This could be his hook.
And McCarron in transition. Beautiful stroke.
Mitch McCarron just flying under the radar, just cruising around. You forget about him, there goes 3.
His first points. '36ers still lead this one by 4. They've led for the entirety of this match. As Clark has Law cutting to the basket. Off the glass.
It ain't rocket science. Anywhere in that distance, Vic he's too hard to stop. I'd make that a steady diet.
Jack Jumpers warming up as we speak, as are the Cairns Taipans. They'll play in about half an hour from now, or just over, in the second of our Tuesday night doubleheader. Both teams coming off a loss in their first game. They'll be looking to join the winners list. That's an offensive foul on Hannes.
Yep, got caught putting his shoulder down. You know who I've been impressed with? This guy number 32, Clark.
Yeah.
If you look at his stats, you go, yeah, he hasn't done anything. But he hasn't done anything wrong. He's running the team. He doesn't need to take any shots. He knows he got guys that he's distributing the ball. He's controlling the tempo. I got respect for a guard like that who doesn't need to fill the stats to look like he's doing something.
Good opportunity for him to
Now
get some minutes.
He's got to get his name on the back of his singlet. Let me know you really care about me.
They've got a host of injuries at the moment, the Wildcats. Bairstow wants to face up on Purchase. Now with his back to the basket, Purchase has done well. It's been in there for a while.
You know it's good defense when you almost get a 3-second call on the post move.
And Kevin White, not that time. Marshall brings the ball up the floor for Adelaide. McCarron under all sorts of pressure from Cotton. Last touch though by the Wildcats.
This is when you find out what teams do in the last, crunch time, last 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Which team can execute the best, which team can make the least amount of mistakes, not turn the ball over. We'll come out with this win.
At one stage, the lead was 11. As Perth do, they haven't given up on it. They've just slowly but surely chipped away at the deficit. And now it's only 2 the difference. Travers stripped. Bairstow's hands were swift. And Hannes from the logo.
The fact that he even has the confidence to pull up from that range off the break tells you he's serious about scoring.
He is. I think he's deadly serious about scoring. Mojave King pulls the trigger. And Majuk stands on the line. Ball will be Adelaide's from the baseline, out of the timeout.
So everybody's spraying threes, and like you don't want to turn down a wide open three, and you want to back people to make that shot. But Perth, I will remind you, is still shooting 16% from three, and Adelaide is 21% from three. So why are we shooting so many of them? Just because you're open, is that reason enough to take a three? I had a coach once say to me, we had missed 17 threes in a row as a team. He says the next guy shoots a three is getting subbed out the game. Some guy took another three, made it, ran past the coach and said, well, that's a layup to me. but we're not playing the percentages though, fellas. Just because you're open, you might be open for a reason.
Yep.
So this is when you got to be methodical. Let's come down and get a good shot. I know can we turn down an open shot for a better shot? And right now, teams are getting up and down, spraying up threes, and I'm sure there'll be games when they shoot 35, 40%. It'll be a different ball game. But for right now, it's not falling. So what else can we do?
And that clip for both teams, that's been the way from the start, hasn't it? It's not like it's declined as the game's gone on.
Yeah. In the words of Adam Caporn, shout out to Adam, he was through a shooting slump, said, Adam, how you shooting going, man? He said, I couldn't hit a barn with a frozen chicken. I still haven't heard anything funnier than that.
3.5 minutes left. You can see the crowd really starting to build now at MyState Bank Arena. Mentioned that it's a sellout tonight, as it was on Sunday, as it is for the next game here as well. Harvey King spins. Couldn't finish off though.
Good move. That's what you want. You're attacking the basket. You want to put the pressure on the referees. The shot didn't drop for him, but that's a good move. Put pressure on Travis to play some D.
Rear jump ball. You're talking about Mitch Clark playing in tonight's game. Damon, you've liked the look of him. The #1 man in Perth, Lockie Reed, is watching on as we speak.
Yeah,
Said that he's been a train-on player with Perth for the last couple of years and is building, a Scotch boy.
He looks like he belongs. Like I said, he hasn't done anything wrong, in my opinion, from one little guy to the other. His time might not come in this particular team, this particular season, but you can see that he's improving.
From all reports, a very good young footballer. That's another one that basketball's winning. Travis has had his chances from out there tonight. McCarron kept his feet when Wagstaff didn't. And hands by Law.
Got to really respect Mitch McCarron. And I'm sitting here thinking if I was a player, he lulls you to sleep. He just kind of wandering around.
Yeah.
Now, next thing you know, he's in the paint. That pass didn't come off, but it was a threat.
Deck, not the first time or the second. Another offensive rebound for Adelaide, though. Now the captain.
Oh, the sweeping hook. He gets the call.
He's got free throws to come.
36ers will head to line for 2 shots.
What do you reckon? First team to 60 wins?
2:32 left on the clock. Mitch McCarron.
I'm not sure if one of them are going to get to 60, are they? Definitely. First team to 60 is winning this.
Preseason shenanigans, that's okay. We knew this was coming. You're not going to be at your best. We've said it plenty of times, and you don't want to overreact to bad shooting performances this early in the season. We'll save that for when the season starts.
Blowing them cobwebs out.
That's it.
There's a lot of them, particularly for Perth. Their first game, Adelaide have already played the one game. There's Nick Marshall dragging it in.
Bearstar thought my life just flashed before my eyes. I'm out here on the island with Bryce Cotton. and Bryce bailed him out by shooting a 3.
It's the worst place in Australian basketball to be, on Cotton Island. It's a lonely place. Kev White scrapping for it, but gave it up to Marshall. And then just to rub salt into the wounds, he's whistled for the foul.
Yeah, they call that the compounding errors. The turnover and then the foul. Kevin's a bit of a frustration foul there.
Played last season with the Cairns Taipans, Mojave King, averaged 6 points a game. Had 25 in the final game of the season last year, which was a real indication of what we already knew about him, that he's got limitless ability. A change in scenery this year.
It's all about a fit sometimes.
Another year older, another year in the gym.
He's got plenty of room left in his frame to fill out. He's already an athlete. Yeah, he's still learning. I mean, as good as he is now, the potential is definitely there. It's just a matter of just seasoning.
Yeah. And Travis head down to the basket, lays it up. Brings it back to 4, the difference. With less than 2 minutes left. Six points for him.
It's good to see Bryce make that extra pass, because even though he's clearly a scorer, he didn't force that shot up. The guy came and helped. He kicked it out to Travis, and Travis attacked the basket.
Bairstow gives the 36ers another chance, and for them can wind a little time off the clock. Down to 3 for Deck. Long range 3 is good.
That is a good shot, but on defense, that's the worst 3 to give up. There's 2 seconds left on the shot clock. What do you think is going to happen? You'd be surprised how many times guys just sag off. They don't want to get beat off the dribble, and they just give up a 3 to the team that's shooting 21%.
John for John, the line, shooting 2.
My Jack's so big they can get to the paint. He can get to the foul line and got a nice touch. There's no hack-a-shack type thing happening with Majuk. You can trust him late in games.
He's played some good minutes tonight, which is the best part about it. 12 minutes. Has 8 points and 5 rebounds. McCarron under pressure. Travers was there to help. Cotton alongside him, misses the left-handed layup. And then stole it away from Mojave King. Slipped over, kept it alive, and then threw it out of bounds.
All that effort. I thought it was good no call on the layup, and then he came and got the steal, and he slipped. It looks like it's kind of slippery out there. Probably lucky they didn't call travel, but
yeah,
kind of sums up the kind of the night this particular game he's had.
McCarron tips it in for 2 more. That should take care of the result now for Adelaide. They lead by 7. Cotton trying to get an early shot away. Goes from deep. That won't be counting.
Yeah, Perth players look tired. They'll be better for this to get this game. They've been training 5-on-5, or they do all the 4-on-4, the 3-on-3 stuff. Nothing is like playing another team in a real game. So they'll be better for this one, and be interested to see how they come out after a couple of days rest.
There's Mitch McCarron on that last play. Just always present.
Just wandering around. Cheeky little tip in.
Yep.
Nobody's paying attention to me.
Plays the game at his pace. So the 36ers can take a bit of a break now. They won't be in action again until Sunday. Play the Jack Jumpers in Ulverston. For the Wildcats, a couple of days rest. They're not in action again until Friday. Also down in Ulverston, where they'll play the Brisbane Bullets.
It's all happening down in Tassie.
Sure is. Sure is.
What's the weather like outside over there?
Couldn't be any worse than Melbourne.
Here we go.
Such a fantastic outpouring of support on social media after the Jack Jumpers' first game on Sunday. It was great to read some of the tweets and comments on Instagram and Facebook as well. Tassie sports fans are just loving it. It's been a long time coming. The Jack Jumpers in action next against the Taipans. Nice trap there from the Wildcats.
They're not giving up. Play it to the last buzzer.
Wagstaff off the inbound. Took it himself. Law went upstairs for the big dunk. The 36ers become the first team at the NBL Blitz to win 2 games. 63-56, the final score. Our first look at Dusty Hannahs, Mojave King, and Isaac Humphreys with some minutes under their feet. The 36ers just going about their business nicely at the moment.
Yep, just consolidated, improved a little bit from the last game, which is all you want. Again, with some different guys out, CJ got to look at some different lineups. Hannah comes in, shows what he can do, what he's going to be capable of. It'll be interesting to see how he goes on the floor when you got DJ out there. There's only one basketball, but I'm sure they'll work that out. That's CJ's problem, not mine. But definitely some positive signs.
There is Dusty Hannahs. For what we saw of him, he plays with pace and very proactive player. Mitch McCarron, again, just doing what Mitch McCarron does best. Having an influence at both ends of the floor. The 36ers have got some depth. I think that's, Damon, for me, one of the big things to take away from the first couple of games is with a full lineup, CJ Bruton's got options from 1 through to 11 or 12.
It's a good problem to have. And throughout the course of a season, you know, foul trouble, unfortunate injuries, you know, you need the depth. Obviously in a 40-minute game, most teams got almost 2 starting fives,
yep.
Legit starting fives. So now, just like I said, it comes down to rotation and guys buying in to the system. Whatever CJ's, whatever he's selling, hopefully they're buying. And if it's your night, you're on the floor. And if it's not your night, be happy for your teammate because we got that kind of depth.
And for the Wildcats, it was their first game of the NBL Blitz, and we've spoken at length about how disrupted their preseason has been with injuries and their coach arriving late out of quarantine. So I'm sure that they'll look at the positives from this one, dust themselves off and get set for Friday night against the Brisbane Bullets. So the first game done and dusted at MyState Bank Arena. You can see the Tasmania Jack Jumpers. They will be in action in around 20 minutes from now when they take on the Cairns Taipans. But in game 1, it's the 36ers winning 63-56. Don't go too far. We'll be back shortly from MyState Bank Arena for the Jack Jumpers and the Taipans.